What is up everyone, it's Mula, pleased to do with my video on the loot lake, so let's get started. To begin with, the main splits that occur here are one duo will land at these metal outposts, one will land at the modern house and this little forest thing, and then one will land at the factories. The factories are the most contested, but this is the highest density loot building, so you want to always be able to send one person here, or two if you have to. If you guys aren't contested, then this takes the most time to loot, and also the most time to farm mats. You have some decent trees and such, but this duo will be able to get 1,000 wood pretty quickly, and then this duo has more efficient metal as well as an easier time looting. So when you guys are ready to fight, I'd recommend taking the slipstream and trying to land on high ground, maybe at a metal tower. The longer that you guys wait, the more mats they'll have though, so you have to keep that in mind. Granted, your loot balance will favor you, but they might not be there by the time you're done with farming everything. The modern house isn't too good because it only has like a couple chest spawns scattered throughout. I believe 4 or 5 in total. It also has one vending machine, but it can also check over in this direction and maybe get this vending machine or rotate towards the quarry and whatnot. If you guys do decide to push, then you should do so quickly since you'll have the most mat count early into the game. So either take this ridge and shoot and take the slipstream over to the teammate factories, or just push these guys over at the metal outposts. You guys also have 2 natural campfires, one here and one here, so you can abuse that if you find the opportunity to. This team has a pretty decent amount of loot and also a pretty efficient metal farm, but after that they can't really do much else in terms of moving. So if you're landing here and you plan on pushing, make sure you get as much metal as possible since you're going to need to make like a pretty long push towards any direction, whether it be towards modern or towards the factory team. You can try to use different methods such as to the left here and take advantage of this natural high ground, but you are not going to be able to get the chests and the wood here. So what I'd recommend is sending one person in and getting more loot, and then sending one person over here so that they can help cover and not have both players in the crater itself. So what's good about Loot Lake is there's pretty much max wood and max metal, so you only need to find brick during the mid game, which isn't that difficult. There's also the fact that there's slipstreams, so you have pretty much a constant rotation, and then also of course the sky platform for further wherever you need to go. And then there's the amount of chests in here, which is like more than 30. 34 if you count this, I believe. 31 otherwise. And then there's the fact that it's pretty close to being like center of the map compared to other spots. As for what's decent about this spot is that the campfires are pretty easy to hit because they're located like within the lake itself. There's also the one on Aubrey Park, which isn't really there. And then there's one baller spawn here, but that's not really too applicable to you guys since there's no real easy way to get there. And then also there's 2 vending machines, one here and then one here of course. What's not so great is that people are generally going to rotate into here eventually because of like the further POIs just coming in this direction naturally. There's also the fact that the vehicle spawns aren't very reliant, which isn't going to hinder your ability to get into zone, but if you prefer to have like a quad, then you're not guaranteed to get one generally. And then also there's only a limited amount of brick in the form of like the rocks here, and then I guess the walls and some parts of the buildings here, like the railings on top. A couple tips about fighting here is to take large angles since it's really open and you can get a couple AR tags really freely if they're not able to see you. BallTW made a video that's really good at explaining this, so I'll link it in the description. Also conversely, of course, if you're build fighting, then you need to make sure that you're safe from all angles because you don't know where an enemy might rotate into you from or whoever's looking, you know? So just make sure that whenever you're fighting, you try to like box yourself whenever you're just trying to get information. And then obviously, not everyone may know this, but if you can angle your camera downwards by looking up, you can see downed players who are crawling in the water, so you can pretty efficiently execute them. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Thanks for all the recent support I've been getting. I'm going to try a new system for determining which video I do next. So in the comments, I'm going to be pinning the options, and whichever gets the most likes or something will be the one I make the video on. If you enjoyed this, then leave a like, comment, subscribe.